Hi, doing this video in response to a request that I had through the comments section on YouTube. I'd done a video talking about what to look for when you're shopping for an electric guitar, and somebody came back and said, great, I'm an acoustic player, the whole electric guitar thing's a bit of a minefield, can you just explain what the various bits are on a guitar and what to do? Okay, I'll do that, but I thought, seeing as the guy in question is an acoustic player, let's start with the acoustic guitar. Okay, so here's acoustic guitar, fairly basic beast in the way that it operates. We've got a body which is basically a hollow wooden box with air inside, which as the strings vibrate, the air moves and the sound gets amplified. Strings are in this case made out of steel, but you can also get classical guitars where the strings are made out of nylon and the lower strings are wrapped with steel. This piece here is the bridge, and the bit where the strings pass over is called the saddle. So the strings are secured in the bridge and pass over the saddle, go along down the neck to this piece of, in this case it's plastic. Some guitars this could be made out of another material like bone or graphite or brass, and that's called the nut. And basically the strings vibrate between the nut and the saddle, and you get an open note. Along the neck you've got the fret wire, and depending on where you place your finger along the string next to the frets, you can increase or decrease the pitch of the string. Effectively shortening, what you're doing is you're shortening the string and increasing the pitch. Down this end we've got the headstock with the tuning pegs or the machine heads, and they're used to tighten or loosen the string to bring it to pitch so you can tune the guitar. And that, as it goes, is the anatomy of an acoustic guitar. It starts to get a little bit more complicated when you go onto an electric, because there's a few more bits and pieces, and I'll show you those now and talk about them a little bit. And this is an electric guitar. Same basic principle as the acoustic we were just looking at. You've got the strings here at the bridge passing over the saddles, down the neck to the nut, headstock tuned up to pitch with the tuning pegs here, and you can change the pitch of the string by moving your fingers along the neck and fretting the strings. Main difference though is that the body on this guitar is solid. The sound on an electric guitar comes primarily from these things, which are the pickups. What these are magnets with wire wrapped around them, thousands of wraps of tiny gauge wire, and as the strings vibrate and they're effectively passing through the magnetic field from the pickup, and all that wire wrapped around the pickup, it causes an electric current, and that's what gives us the sound. Different types of pickup give you different sounds. So on this guitar I've got a humbucking pickup, which is a slightly fatter sound, and some single coil pickups which have a slightly brighter sound. They're the main thing that gives us the sound on an electric guitar, but because the sound fundamentally comes from the way that the strings vibrate, the acoustic properties of the guitar are a factor. So the wood that the guitar body is made out of will influence the sound because of the way it affects the way the string vibrates. So you get mahogany body guitars will sound different to ash body guitars and so on. Because the guitar's electric, we can affect the sound a little bit on board. So we've got volume control, tone controls to affect the pitch of the pickup, and some various sort of switching arrangements you'll get on different guitars. This guitar is reasonably straightforward, that I've got a pickup selector switch, so I can select which, if I'm getting sound from this pickup or this pickup, both of those together, that one on its own, what have you. And I've also got a little switch where I can take the humbucker and I can split it down into a single coil, so I can get a slightly brighter sound out of that compared to the humbucker sound. There's no really standard way of wiring up pickups. There's some combinations you'll find occur more often. Like 2 humbuckers with a 3-way selector switch, or 3 pickups with a 5-way selector switch, volume, tone, whatever. But there is a bit of variance, really. It's horses for courses. Another big difference between this guitar and the acoustic, as you can see, is down here at the bridge. Whereas the acoustic guitar was fairly straightforward, the strings were basically anchored at the bridge, passed over the saddles, and that was that. Here we've got what's called a tremolo bridge. There's different types of tremolo available, but they all serve basically the same purpose, and that is to alter the pitch of the string. So as I play a note, if I push the tremolo arm down, it lowers the pitch of the string. I've got this one set up so there's a bit of upward movement, so I can play a string and raise it with the tremolo arm. There's all sorts of effects you can get with that, from very subtle vibrato to more extreme sort of dive bomb effects, sort of thing you'll hear a lot in like rock music and so on. There's a few different types of trem. This one is a bit more extreme in that it's got 2 posts here, one there, and the tremolo arm. The tremolo block rests on it's like a knife edge against those posts. So any movement on the arm, it's a very pronounced movement of the tremolo here. So the increase or decrease of pitch is quite pronounced. Also down this end, whereas the other guitar we look at there, the acoustic, the strings just passed straight over the note, and it could be altered with the tuning pegs. This is what's called a locking nut. Strings pass under these little pieces that are clamped down, so there's no movement of the string over the nut. So if I want to tune the guitar, I need to undo these clamps, bring the guitar up to pitch, and then reclamp them. It sounds a bit complicated, but the reason for that is it's much more stable for tuning. If you do some really crazy effects with the whammy bar here, there's a chance that the strings on a normal nut they can catch in the slots ever so slightly, and they'll go out of tune. This, because you've got a fixed point here, there's no movement. The tuning's a lot more stable, so you can really give this a bit of abuse, and you don't need to worry so much about the guitar going out of tune. The more traditional arrangement for a tremolo, and I don't have one to show you as an example, is what's called a Strat trem, sort of thing that was on a Fender Stratocaster when, basically from the day that guitar was born. And there's a lot less metal work there. It's more simplistic construction. 6 little screws fix it to the guitar body, and there's upward and downward movement on it, but it's not as extreme as like a locking tremolo system like this. And because it's not as extreme, you just got a normal traditional nut down this end that the strings pass over. No locking mechanism or anything. How does that work? There's a set of springs inside the guitar. You can see there's a box here. Behind there's a claw with some springs that are attached to the tremolo block, and as you move the tremolo arm, it fights against those springs, and when you leave go of the arm, the springs take the tension back and bring the bridge back to pitch. Other things to mention on the electric guitar possibly is just the number of frets you've got at your disposal, whereas in an acoustic guitar you need quite a lot of body to give you the sound. On an electric guitar, because the sound's coming from the pickups more, what we can do is take the neck joint closer to the body, so that gives us easier access to the higher frets on the neck. This guitar, not uncommon having 24 frets. Usually electric guitar you'll have 21, or probably as a minimum playable frets. or 22 or 24. You know, I've seen some crazier designs that, you know, that go beyond that. But you've got a much more range along the neck on an electric guitar. Now I think basically is about it. That's the, you know, the main components of an electric guitar. So for whoever it was that asked me that question ages ago, I've had a bit of a backlog of videos to do, so I've only just got around to doing this one now. I hope that's cleared up some of the vagaries for you, and you've got a better understanding now. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Bye for now.